The stage is set for the third phase of polling and 116 seats spread across 15 states and union territories on Tuesday. Single-phase elections will take place for all 26 seats in Gujarat, all 20 seats in Kerala, 2 seats in Goa, 1 seat each in Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, 14 seats each of Maharashtra and Karnataka, 10 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 7 seats in Chhattisgarh, 6 seats in Odisha, 5 seats each in West Bengal and Bihar, 4 seats in Assam, 1 seat in Jammu and Kashmir will go to polls on 23rd of April. Tripura East Lok Sabha constituency will also vote in the fourth phase. The Lok Sabha seat was slated to go to polls in the second phase, but voting was postponed due to law and order situation. Many prominent names are in the fray in the third phase. All eyes are on BJP chief Amit Shah contesting from Gandhinagar in Gujarat, Congress President Rahul Gandhi from Wayanad in Kerala, Sambit Patra from Puri Lok Sabha seat in Odisha, Jaya Prada, BJP candidate from Rampur, BJP's Varun Gandhi from Pilibhit, Congress's Abhijit Mukherjee from Jangipur Lok Sabha seat in West Bengal, and Samajwadi Party's Mulayam Singh Yadav from Mainpuri. Third phase polling for 42 seats of Odisha Assembly will also take place on Tuesday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hit the campaign trail in Maharashtra and Rajasthan on Monday. Canvassing support for BJP Shiv Sena alliance candidates from Nasik, Dindori and Dhule Lok Sabha constituencies, Prime Minister Modi criticized the opposition Congress NCP combined. He said leaders of both parties were involved knee-deep in corruption, doing nothing for the poor and the farmers.
इथेनॉल बनाने की इस बात को यहां बड़े बड़े किसान नेता एग्रीकल्चर मिनिस्टर हो गए, चीफ मिनिस्टर रहा करते थे, कांग्रेस एनसीपी के लोग अपने आप को किसान होने का दावा करते हैं, लेकिन उनको गन्ने से इथेनॉल बनाकर भी आप अपनी आय बढ़ा सके, इसकी कांग्रेस और उसके साथियों ने कभी परवाह नहीं की। उन्हें इस बारे में पता था, पूरा ज्ञान था, लेकिन उन्होंने कभी सोचा नहीं कि अपने गन्ना किसानों को ये नई तकनीक भी लाकर दें।
At another rally in Udaipur, Rajasthan, the Prime Minister said the NDA has shown that running an honest government is possible in the country, accusing the Congress of cheating people for 7 decades. He further said that his government has taken decisive action against terrorism, while the opposition has let down the country by seeking proof of action against terrorists. And BJP President Amit Shah also addressed rallies in West Bengal on Monday. He made a blistering attack at West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee for raising fingers at the Election Commission out of fear of losing the polls. He also accused the TMC government in the state of running a mafia raj, saying West Bengal has become a safe haven for infiltrators. The BJP president urged people of West Bengal to vote for the BJP to ensure that the syndicate raj ends within 90 days in West Bengal.
इसको उखाड़ कर मूल समेत फेंक लेना है ये तृणमूल सरकार को। ये विकास को बंगाल की जनता तक पहुंचने नहीं देते। मित्रों, ये बंगाल को तृणमूल के गुंडों का लूट का अड्डा बनाया। आपको सीमेंट खरीदनी, सिंडिकेट को टैक्स दो, सरिया खरीदना है, सिंडिकेट को टैक्स दो, ईंटें खरीदनी है, सिंडिकेट को टैक्स दो, मृत्यु का सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए, उनके गुंडों को टैक्स दो, नौकरी चाहिए, उनके गुंडे को टैक्स दो, मोदी जी ने भेजा हुआ टॉयलेट चाहिए, उनके गुंडे को टैक्स दो।
A war of words has also erupted between Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and Union Minister Smriti Irani over the distribution of shoes in Amethi. Priyanka Gandhi slammed Smriti Irani for distributing shoes to the people of Amethi, which is the home turf of her brother and Congress President Rahul Gandhi. Priyanka said Irani, the BJP candidate from Amethi, was doing it in order to insult Rahul Gandhi, but she was actually insulting the people of the constituency.
कि ये स्मृति ईरानी जी यहाँ आई और उन्होंने जूते बांटे लोगों को, ये कहने के लिए कि इनके पास जूते भी नहीं है पहनने के। ये सोच रही है कि राहुल जी का अपमान कर रही हैं। ये कर रही है अमेठी की जनता का अपमान।
जी हम लोग का हो रहा है।
अमेठी की जनता ने कभी किसी से भीख नहीं मांगी है, कभी किसी से भीख नहीं मांगी है। अमेठी और रायबरेली की जनता ने कभी किसी से भीख नहीं मांगी।
Reacting sharply to Priyanka Gandhi's statement, Smriti Irani advised the Congress General Secretary to take a tour of the constituency and see the plight of people herself. And let's go across to our correspondent Rajat Kain from Kerala and Akhilesh Suman from Bihar, where polling is scheduled to take place on Tuesday. A very good evening, Rajat and Akhilesh. Coming to you, Akhilesh, first. Of the 5 seats going to polls in the Kosi belt, the contest in Madhepura is quite interesting because, all 3 key candidates are Yadavs this time. And about Madhepura, it's said that, Rome Popka and Madhepura Gopka. So with all 3 Yadavs in the fray this time, who are the odds in favor of this time around, Akhilesh?
Right, you are right that it is a very interesting phase, as far as Bihar politics is concerned. And in that politics, Madhepura is one of the center states because, that the whole reservation movement, it has the heartbeat of whole reservation movement, as BP Mandal, who was the chairman of Mandal Commission, and it came out with the whole reservation, criteria that how OBCs can be given reservation. So in that context, that Madhepura is one of the most important seats, not only in Bihar, but also in the whole country. And
Yes.
Sharad Yadav, who was earlier with JDU, has now joined RJD, and RJD has, not given the ticket to earlier MP Pappu Yadav. So it is very interesting fight inside RJD also, and Pappu Yadav is fighting as an independent candidate. So in that way, it's very important for Sharad Yadav that whether he wins the election. But contrary to that, that it is the Nitish Kumar's also prestige seat, because Nitish Kumar had expelled Sharad Yadav after Nitish Kumar joined hand with BJP for assembly. And in that case, Nitish Kumar was also camping here for last 2-3 days, and he is trying to ensure that Sharad Yadav should not win. Interesting thing is also that the nearest Supal constituency, Pappu Yadav's wife is standing from the Congress seat. And some of the RJD people are trying to influence that, yes, how Pappu Yadav's wife should win. But these are very interesting adjoining constituencies. And other than that, if you see that in this phase, 3 seats are with RJD, and you can say that Mahagathbandhan, the Grand Alliance, and 2 seats are with NDA. 1 seat was with BJP, the Jhanjharpur seat, but it was given to JDU this time. So JDU is also facing problem whether BJP workers and BJP voters will support the new candidate of JDU. Another seat belongs to LJP, and LJP is fighting. And then the opponent is Mukesh Sahni, who is president of newly formed, VIP, party that is called Vikasil Insan Party. So this phase is very important in Bihar. And if, that whatever will be the result of Madhepura and whatever the OBCs take a line here, it will also influence the rest of Bihar, because Madhepura is known as Yadav land, and BJP and NDA has hopes that Yadav might be splitted here. And if Yadavs are splitted here, it will also impact other constituencies, and I think that it will have large repercussions. So it is very interesting.
Indeed, Akhilesh.
For both.
So there is a lot at stake for both camps, the NDA as well as the Gathbandhan, but particularly for the RJD, a lot of it is at stake with those 5 seats going to polls tomorrow. Rajat, coming to you, similar to Madhepura, Wayanad is also going to witness a triangular contest, and particularly with the entry of Rahul Gandhi, the interest, the contest is very interesting and one that is going to be keenly watched out for. Now, on the eve of the polls, what is the mood of Wayanad? You've been there for about quite a few days now. What do you sense? Who are the odds in favor of in Wayanad this time?
Well, thanks, Tina. Yes, you're right. The contest in Wayanad is indeed interesting, and everyone is keeping a close eye on that. If you speak to the Congress workers and Congress party, they'd say that it's just a matter of the margin of how much Rahul Gandhi wins the seat from. Now, taking into account the candidates fielded by the other two quarters, one by the left, where they fielded PP Sumer, and he is a strong man. He has been impressive in his domestic politics in Kerala, and interestingly, left has imported a candidate from Malampuram constituency. He is not from Wayanad. He is mainly from Malampura constituency, and now he's been pitted against Rahul Gandhi. On the other hand, we have the BDJS and the BJP alliance. They have the NDA candidate Tushar Vellapalli. Now, these two parties, BJP and BDJS, they have seen constituency in Thrissur and in Thiruvananthapuram, where BJP opened its account in the assembly. Now, whether BJP would be able to do that well in North, that has to be seen. Besides the Wayanad contest, as I pointed out, these are three seats: Thrissur, Pathanamthitta, where that is where also the contest is keenly watched, essentially because people, or rather analysts, they believe that BJP will possibly witness increase in the vote share. Now, that has to be seen whether it will convert them into a winning margin, or
Indeed, Rajat.
BJP once again would be left behind in terms of winning a seat in Kerala.
Yes, so the state of Kerala is going to witness polls on all its 20 Lok Sabha seats. Thank you, Rajat and Akhilesh, for joining us and giving us those details. Moving on in the bulletin, Election Commission officers on Monday accepted Rahul Gandhi's nomination from Amethi Lok Sabha constituency after scrutinizing allegations of discrepancies over his citizenship and finding the documents valid. 4 independent candidates had filed objections to Rahul Gandhi's papers, including about his educational qualification, nationality and ownership of property in the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi campaigned in Amethi and Raebareli on Monday, where he promised to provide employment to 22 lakh youth if the Congress is elected to power.
मैं आपको स्टेट से गारंटी करता हूं, 22 लाख नौकरियों को मैं 1 साल के अंदर भर के आपको दिलवा दूंगा। अब हानि रुकूंगा, डर जाओ, ये शुरुआत है। 10 लाख युवाओं को पंचायतों में रोजगार दिया जा सकता है। 10 लाख युवाओं को कांग्रेस पार्टी पंचायतों में रोजगार देगी। और जो हमारी जो पुरानी मनरेगा की योजना थी, पहले 100 दिन देते थे ना, अब 150 दिन देंगे।
And political activities have gained momentum in Delhi as well, as only 2 days are left for filing of nomination papers for 7 Lok Sabha seats in the city. Polling will be held in the national capital in the 6th phase on the 12th of May. The BJP has so far released names of 4 candidates. Meanwhile, Union Minister Harshvardhan has filed his nomination papers from Chandni Chowk constituency. Harshvardhan will face Congress's JP Agarwal and Aam Aadmi Party's Pankaj Gupta on this seat.
दिल्ली की 7 सीटों पर इंक्लूडिंग मेरी सीट पे भारतीय जनता पार्टी को ऐतिहासिक सफलता मिलेगी और चांदनी चौक में जितने मार्जिन से मैंने पिछली बार जीत हासिल की थी, उससे बहुत बेहतर मार्जिन से इस बार जीत हासिल होगी।
कोई चुनौती नहीं है, लोग मुझे जानते हैं, मैं लोगों को जानता हूं, और इसी माशरे में हम बड़े पले, बहुत सारे दोस्त हैं जिन्होंने बहुत लंबा सफ़र हमारे साथ बिताया, और यहीं से हमने अपनी आवाज़ उठानी सीखी।
मुझे लगता है कि दिल्ली की जनता अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को, झाड़ू को, आम आदमी पार्टी को एक मौका ऐसा भी देगी कि वो संसद में जाके पूर्ण राज्य की वो लड़ाई लड़ सकें।
Delhi BJP chief Manoj Tiwari and sitting party MP Pravesh Verma also filed their nomination papers from North East Delhi and West Delhi respectively. Manoj Tiwari will face his Congress counterpart Sheila Dikshit in North East Delhi. And Aam Aadmi Party's Atishi also filed her nomination papers from East Delhi constituency. Before filing her nomination papers, she held a roadshow. Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia also accompanied Atishi during the roadshow. The Congress party also announced names of 6 candidates for Delhi Lok Sabha seats, fielding former Delhi Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit from North East Delhi, Ajay Makhan from New Delhi, and JP Agarwal from Chandni Chowk. The Congress also fielded Arvinder Singh Lovely from East Delhi, Rajesh Lilothia from Northwest Delhi, and Mahabal Mishra from West Delhi. The announcement of candidates came after talks of alliance between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress failed, as the Congress party wanted a tie-up only in Delhi, while the Aam Aadmi Party wanted the alliance to be forged in Haryana as well. Congress President Rahul Gandhi on Monday regretted his remarks on the Supreme Court's ruling on the Rafale case. In an affidavit filed in the Supreme Court, Rahul Gandhi accepted making the comments in the heat of political campaigning that he said have been misused by his opponents. Earlier, a bench headed by the Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi, had made it clear that Gandhi's remarks made in the media on the Rafale verdict were incorrectly attributed to the apex court. Reacting to Gandhi's affidavit, Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman accused him of depending on lies.
अलफनामा में तो रिग्रेट खेद व्यक्त कर दिया, मगर उसके बाद भी अगर वो रिपीट करेंगे तो मैंने मेरे पक्ष की बात रखना चाहती हूं, मगर लग रहा है कि वो रिपीट करना शुरू भी कर चुके हैं। इसीलिए मैं ये आपके सामने बोलना चाहती हूं, कल ऑफ कोर्स कोर्ट उसको हियरिंग में लेंगे, अभी भी वो सब जुडिस मैटर है। फिर भी मुझे लगता है कि सिर्फ पॉलिटिकल कन्वीनियंस के लिए और टू एस्केप द राथ ऑफ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट की कंटेम्प्ट के विषय में गुस्सा सुप्रीम कोर्ट व्यक्त करने से पहले शायद कन्वीनियंट आर्ग्यूमेंट ले लिया। ही इज जस्ट टेकन अ पॉलिटिकली कन्वीनियंट आर्ग्यूमेंट टू से आई रिग्रेट इट।
Notification for the 7th and last phase of the Lok Sabha elections began today. Voting in 13 seats each of Uttar Pradesh and Punjab, 9 of West Bengal, 8 seats each of Bihar and Madhya Pradesh, 4 of Himachal Pradesh, 3 seats of Jharkhand will be held in this phase. 1 seat in Union Territory of Chandigarh will also go to polls in this phase. As many as 59 seats covering 7 states and 1 Union Territory will go to polls in this phase. Nominations can be filed from today to 29th April, and scrutiny of nominations will be held on 30th of April, which is the last date for withdrawal of candidature. In fact, it's 2nd of May, the last date of withdrawal of candidature. Campaigning will end on 17th May and polling will be held on 19th May. Single-phase polling will also take place in Gujarat during the 3rd phase on Tuesday for all 26 Lok Sabha seats. Our correspondent Ravindra Singh Sharan spoke with the Chief Electoral Officer of Gujarat about the poll preparations.
कल हमारा 51,851 पोलिंग स्टेशंस में 26 पार्लियामेंट्री सीट्स और 4 असेंबली बाई इलेक्शंस होने वाला है। उसके लिए हमने पूरा तैयारी किया हुआ है। आज हमारा पूरा पोलिंग पार्टीज डिस्पैच हो रहे, रवाना हो रहे, शाम तक सब लोग पहुंचेंगे और शाम को हमको रिपोर्ट आएगी।
सर, जो बूथ सेंसिटिव हैं या सुरक्षा के क्या क्या प्रबंध किए गए हैं?
हम क्रिटिकल पोलिंग स्टेशन आइडेंटिफिकेशन, वल्नरेबल एरियाज आइडेंटिफिकेशन हमें 2-3 बार किया हुआ है असेसमेंट। उसके हिसाब से जहाँ जहाँ जो प्रिवेंटिव एक्शंस लेना है वो हमने लिया हुआ है। उसके उपरांत जो पुलिस, पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स, वेबकास्टिंग और माइक्रोवेव्स की डिप्लॉयमेंट जो है वहाँ ज़िले में ज़रूरत के हिसाब से पोलिंग स्टेशन की सेंसिटिविटी के हिसाब से वहाँ डिप्लॉयमेंट करने के लिए सूचना दिया है। इसके हिसाब से डिप्लॉयमेंट किया। एक सौराष्ट्र में एक ही वोटर है, वहाँ जंगल में है, वहाँ 20 किलोमीटर चल के हमारा स्टाफ जाके वहाँ एक पोलिंग स्टेशन, वहाँ एक फॉरेस्ट की छोटा सी कमरा है, वहाँ करते हैं। और दैट इट इज़, आई मीन द कमीशन इज सीरियस अबाउट इवन 1 vote also should not be left behind. That's why we have taken care to provide the same setup for even for single voter.